coming to you live from the Sagrada Familia. Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? I was in Barcelona for April vacation, and let me tell you, 1 week is not enough to see everything that Barcelona has to offer. Barcelona is located on the east coast of northern Spain in Catalonia. Spanish is of course spoken there, but so is Catalan, a language much closer to French to my amusement. It's a gorgeous, lively city rich in history and culture. St. George is the patron saint of Catalonia, and we were there on El Dia de Sant Jordi, where it is tradition for men to give roses to the women and for women to give men books after the famous love story of St. George the knight who defeated a dragon to save a princess. Thus, on every street corner, people were selling roses and books. That red and yellow flag is the Catalan flag, by the way. Barcelona has a very useful subway system, not unlike Paris, so we never drove and rarely needed a taxi while we were there. Our hotel was situated very close to the famous Sagrada Familia Basilica, started in 1882 by the famous architect Antoni Gaudí. When he died in 1926, since the church was far from completed, it was decided that it should be finished in 2026, the centenary of Gaudí's death, hence all the cranes and scaffolding. It is the strangest, most unique piece of architecture I'd ever seen, and it's only going to get taller and larger. The inside is unlike anything in the world. Once you've seen inside the Sagrada, you won't ever need to see inside another church. This one surpasses them all. Gaudí was inspired by nature, so the flying buttresses inside resemble trees, and the light from the stained glass windows fill the space with color. We also got to climb up to the top of the towers, where we had some great views. Oh, and we're going down. Just go down. Oh, yeah. It looks like the waterfront at La Barceloneta is a great place to get drinks at dusk or to just shop around. There are lots of artisans with their stands selling things. And of course, Barcelona, there is a old city part of it. That's me jumping. And there's a lot to see there, and it kind of reminded me of Venice in the way that you could wander around aimlessly, going through every little alley, and then find yourself in these large squares. And it's just so pretty. We had great weather, and there's palm trees everywhere, and the people there are just so nice. Everybody's just so happy. Here is the Cathedral of Barcelona, completed in 1448. It includes some Roman ruins at the base. It is a touristy spot, but still worth visiting inside, and most of all on top. My mom and I went up to the rooftops of the cathedral, where I felt like quite the Quasimodo, but the views of Barcelona from there are spectacular. At the heart of Barcelona, we visited the Palau de la Música Catalana, the Catalan music hall, which was built in 1908 by Lluís Montaner, another modernist architect like Gaudí. It is absolutely gorgeous inside, very opulent and detailed. Every little part of it is intricately sculpted, and there are many mosaics. It was built in a very crowded part of Barcelona where the streets are small and cramped, so Montaner wanted to give the impression of outside space. The main concert hall seats 2,146 people, and the acoustics are absolutely perfect. The famous stained glass inverted dome skylight, which resembles the sun, illuminates the room with natural light. One day we took a cable car to Montserrat, a very large and jagged mountain on the western outskirt of Barcelona, where we visited the monastery at the top and also did some hiking. This monastery was built in the 15th century but was founded around 1025. The area has always been a religious place. Even before Christianity, the Romans already had a temple there to honor Aphrodite. Now it is considered sacred, and people travel back there to see the 12th century statue of the Black Madonna, who is the co-patron saint, if you will, of Catalonia along with St. George. Here is the statue. And La Escalonia is one of the oldest boys' choir in Europe, and they sing daily at the monastery, so we got to hear them while we were there. happened? No! Then we took a funicular to the hiking trails where you can visit the old chapel of St. Joan, which was built in the year 1000 when Montserrat became religious. Yep, that's me on my phone taking pictures. Tibidabo is a fun day trip as well. It's a tall mountain with a church and amusement park at the top, which can be visited by funicular and tram. The Red Aeroplane ride dates from 1928, and the plane is a replica of the first plane that flew from Barcelona to Madrid. And there are some great views up there. The church is even more elevated than the amusement park and where the funicular takes you. We visited the Parque Güell, which was built in the early 1900s at the top of a hill, and most of the design and architecture is all works by Gaudí. It was built as a public park, but there are some beautiful detailed houses there too, because at first it was part of an urbanization project. Again, like most of Gaudí's work, the architecture is all inspired by natural beauty. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the pros and cons of Barcelona. I'm going to try and make this video less than 10 minutes long because I don't like watching long videos. I don't know about you, but if you're still watching, kudos. There really aren't that many bad things about Barcelona. I really loved it in general. But I guess the main thing for people who are maybe less experienced travelers or haven't really been in big cities abroad, there are a lot of pickpockets. My dad actually got pickpocketed the second to last day we were there. Thankfully not much was stolen, only the cash. But he was pretty unhappy about it. So yeah, just be careful in the subways of Barcelona. There are a lot of pickpockets there, as in the subways anywhere else. Another thing to watch out for is that there is a part of Barcelona that is a little more risky. El Raval is actually the part that's kind of sketchy. There is a lot of prostitution that goes around there, but it's very easy to find hotels in other parts of Barcelona. But then again, there's sketchy areas in every city, so. This wasn't really a problem for me, but it might be for some people. Even though Barcelona has a lot of tourists, a lot of the people there don't actually speak a lot of English. Most people speak Catalan and Spanish. Knowing Spanish is a plus. I'm pretty fluent in it because I'm bilingual in French, and the French is very close to Spanish, and I learned it in school. The people really open up if you can make that extra effort to learn Spanish or at least understand it a little bit. And if you really don't know anything about Spanish or don't know any Spanish phrases, if you're going to go to Barcelona, just learn a couple. They're really easy, and people will really appreciate that extra effort you put in. First of all, the food is amazing. We literally ate at a tapas restaurant like every night. There's tapas, there's paella. If you really like seafood, paella is very traditional. Another great thing about Barcelona is that it was so clean compared to like Paris, for example. There's no dog crap on the sidewalks. There's not a lot of litter. It's a really clean city. Another great thing is that the people are so friendly. As I mentioned, if you speak a little bit of Spanish or if you can put in that extra effort and learn a little bit of Spanish, people really open up and really appreciate it. The transportation in Barcelona is very easy. There's the subway that you can use to get pretty much anywhere. There's also taxi cabs, but if you use the subway and know how to use the subway, it's really easy and you really don't need a cab. There are also the funiculars and the trams, which are all part of the subway system. Kind of like here in Boston, the MBTA consists of the subway, the train, and the buses. In Barcelona, it's kind of like that, but with the funiculars too. And of course, in Barcelona, there is so much to do. We were there for a week, and we managed to pack in a lot of activities every day, but that was still not enough. There are still many things to see, like monuments, Roman ruins. I didn't get to go to Montjuic, which is another mountain thing. I didn't get to really explore El Raval, which is kind of the sketchy Gothic part, but you know, I only went to the market there. Barcelona also is just very family friendly, but it's also a great place. You could have a blast if you're just traveling there by yourself. I'm definitely going to go back on my gap year. I'm going to be in France first, but then I want to just kind of travel around, and I really want to go back to Barcelona because I really feel like 1 week was not enough to fit in everything that it has to offer. Alright, I hope you enjoyed my video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to visit Barcelona if you haven't already. It's a really fun trip. Alrighty, adios y buen viaje.